Okay, Devils, how we doing today? Happy Monday. It's Monday the 8th of April. And you guys saw the polling here is kind of a close battle between Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Ethereum Classic is the winner here, so I'm going to take a look here and see if we can make some sense of what's happening over here. Now, this, like so much of the whole crypto space through Crypto Winter, there are a number of different ways this could be counted. I'm never one to insist that my count is the right count. It's a count that gets us down here to a potential pivot low here now. Right, like everyone else in crypto that's trading this, so we're all asking ourselves, do we have a candidate here for a hard low? Right? Could this be our end? And we're in the start of something here. Well, yeah, it's certainly possible here. I can get us down here to finish this. So just draw that up here. So we get our first ABC here, then a very deep X, right? So going up towards that 90% level. From that, then I've got us going ABC into another. So here we'd be A, B. Now this is the question mark here. Is that our C? I can finish it with 5. We get an impulse coming down here. So I've got for an ABC into a Y and then into an X here, and then we can finish with an AB, and we can come down to this level for a C to give us the WXYXZ. All right, now. Again, I'm not insisting that's the right count. That's a count that gets us to a low down here. So with that established, let's go to a 2-hour here and take a look at where we are coming off of that low. So this would be it down here. So I've got the low wicked off. So yeah, this candle's a bit unusual here, but I can get a so this of course makes it a diagonal. So I can get a leading diagonal into my 1. A little bit of a, if it's the A here, it looks like you'd have to go A, B down into the to the C here for the 2. Right, it's deep for a 2, but we do get a corner pocket here, and as you can see, that's just realized it's 80% probability by tagging them right here. So if that's 1, 2, what have we done here? Looks like a reasonable candidate for our third. I mean, there's nothing out of the ordinary here. I mean, it's pretty much right by the Elliott playbook. If that's the 1 projected from the 2, high probability zone for the third right here between the 1618 and 175. Where do we go? Boom. All right, so there's no reason to assume anything other than a third is in there, right? I've got the subdivision here. This is again kind of a squirrely 4 with these pump wicks are not ideal, but it's, you can see we had this sell off here, pump up here, another pump. So you want to see that try and stabilize. I am over here on Kraken, just happens to be where I'm trading it. We don't have the same amount of volume here, so, but you'll see these pump wicks across all the exchanges. So sorry, excuse me. So right now, 3. Right, I mean, there's just no reason to assume anything out of the ordinary just yet, right? So if the 3 is there, right, I'm tagged the median line. I'm at the 1618, 175. Why would you assume anything else? Just no reason to. So if that's 1, 2, 3 is in. From the corner here, right? If that's my 3, okay, so that's established as a contender for the third. That's enough distance here. That looks solid. Likely we had some not dramatic here. So we didn't in the Elliott oscillator. You did not get divergence. You did get a bit in the RSI. Right? It's unusual to see those two diverging like that. So right now, I'd be inclined to really lean into the idea the third was in, and so far we're just putting in the A wave here. So probably A, B, something like that would be the expectation. Then I've got just a beautiful setup here to finish that. Right, 3 A, B, C, 4. So little surprise here, or the interest here. I mean, that's just Trade Devils 101, right? Upper parallel, pardon me, the lower parallel of the set of median lines that seem to be, right? Yeah, we have a runner out here. So we've got a running parallel here. So I've got the 2.5 and the 50 on here. So I get a running parallel. As long as we stay, well, you can extend it really here. Now, so we could overlap here, right? So this could be, we could have a diagonal on a larger degree, but the subdivision here implies impulse in this third. So I think this count's going to get a little harder to hang on to if we do overlap here. So I think that's a reasonable spot to, if you're looking for an entry here, assuming we get the ABC, which we don't have just yet. But if you're not long here fully, this would be a reasonable spot to look for an initial entry, knowing that there's a possibility if we're going to push down to the 50, you'd get a second entry here, give you a split fill right in the middle. And part of the reason I say that here is these moves with these pump candles are so extreme. So look here, we have absolutely no market acceptance over here. Right now, I'm in visible range here, so everything that we can see, even if I pull this over here and this reallocate. So well, it's all over here. Right? So here's where all the range has been. So we have lots of market acceptance. We can see why that correlates. Now this, we got nothing here. So if these kind of extreme moves are not terribly surprising because there's no market acceptance here. So that means that we could see this kind of volatility sustained. Now, if we're going to come all the way down here to where we have lots of market acceptance, that's going to do damage to this count here, right? We don't want to see the 4 go that deep. Really, you'd rather see it stay as an impulse here. So as the extreme, I don't dislike this here because we can use this pivot as a reasonable point for an exit here. So maybe an initial taste here at the 38, knowing when you've got a little bit of structure here that we might bump into here. There might be so this, you can kind of fatten it up a little bit here. Now, so if you're not going to be a buyer at the 38, you risk getting left, right? So that's something to keep in mind here. I'd be sitting with split entries here. So in fact, I probably will. Right? So here's, although I'm adding here, so this would be initial, this would be last bit, and the reason you can go with that is because the stop is so low there, right? So why not, right? You potentially can get something really juicy there if you catch that, if it's that precise, right? Now, so some of that will be a function of what happens on the B wave, right? Do we get something technical here? We don't know where the A is, so I do not have an A load to project from yet. But once I do get that and we start a retracement here, then I can sort of put the map together and say, oh, okay. Well, note here that if we're going to come up and do it here, if again, I do not have these swings. But I'm just trying to lay out a potential map here. So if we're going to pivot somewhere in this range, well, there's the bank shot into the upper parallel here that would give you your just perfect entry, right? So this algo hits target. Right as we get to the 38, that tees you up for the move up here. So you're going to have, that looks like, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, depending on where your fill is here and if you end up with a split fill. But it'd certainly be 4 to 1 or higher. So that's, again, why not take that trade, right? I mean, they don't get any better. So, now, here's where it can get complicated. If we keep coming down here, and we're going to drive further here. Now, some of this, then we start to run into some question marks here. So we're going to need a good 5 to come down should we get something like this. Now, you'll recall, and those of you that were trading in crypto, in 2017, almost every correction looked like that. Right? So the stronger the market, there's an impatience here. So they get that 3 wave here, and they don't want to wait. Or so people are just buying this. So that was now we're not long. We're not in 2017 times at the moment, certainly not. But this, we've seen so much of it. So as the markets start to move, don't be surprised if we start to see more and more of that. Now, of course, people are giving me shit about not giving them the bearish count. Well, one, so that's partly I'm a bull, so you're getting my unfiltered bias here. But if I were thinking about a bearish count, oh shit, let's go out to an 8 hour. So what's the alternate? Part of the problem here is that what are we correcting here? And so what bears I think are running into is the length of time. So let me get this. Is the length of time of this whole move that we're in the midst of here. So let me clear some of this stuff off. So what would we be correcting? All right, so your eye thinks, okay, so maybe we have to back into it. So this is 1, 2, likely 3. We're going into the 4, and then we're going down for the 5. This could be Bitcoin, Ethereum, all shit. Most of crypto, with a few exceptions, right? Bears are just sitting there waiting for that. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, you're gonna have to back into that. So if this is gonna be how are you going to get there? A, B, C, X, A, B. No, I just don't think it's there. So because the reason I draw this up this way here is because this is too small to be relative to that. So this is really the only thing big enough, and we're already, looks like approximately double the time. So not that it has to be perfectly symmetrical. Well, fuck, I want to do it this way. It doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical. Oh, come here. But if I just look at the length of that right there, okay, now let me clone that. Oh, fuck, come here. All right, so I'm just trying to think about symmetry. All right, well, let's put that here. 1, 2, 3, 4 times as long. Oh, pardon me. I'm sorry, guys. My bad. I want to be right here. My bad here. I'm letting that count. So now let's do it that way. Well, at least twice as long. So if this is 1, 2, 3, that's really the only thing big enough that this could be a 4 relative to, shit, right? Anything's possible, right? So don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. Sure, that's possible. Is it probable? So back here, let me just try this again with the right. All right, so let's put it down here. Twice as long, maybe. This looks like maybe. Let's clone it again. More than twice as long. You're pushing 3 times. Well, so of course, granted, assuming we go up here and finish a 5 here. I don't think you can go 1, 2, 3. Right? This is taking too long. So what's it the potential correction of? Well, if this is the 3, well then you got to back into it, right? So if that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then this would have to be somehow we got to get to an A, B here. So you'd have to go A, B, C. X, no, fuck, that doesn't work. You'd have to just go, oh, fuck, how are you going to do that? A, B, C. I don't even see how bears are getting that, right? Unless you're doing something bizarre with the X way. I don't see it, guys. I don't, right? So that's great. I understand. I am bullish here. So I don't even see how you're going to get there. So this has got to be your B here. So all of this has to be your A. Yeah, I don't know. I'm happy if bears want to be on the other side of my trades. I'm quite comfortable with that, right? I don't see this correcting anything that's relative over here. It just doesn't look that way, right? Now, fuck, I could be wrong as hell. Right? We're all wrong frequently. Let's say it that way, right? It's just the nature of the beast, right? So I'm not insisting that I'm right. I don't see how this is how we're correcting something here. How is this ABC, right? So that's what a bear's chomping at the bit, going, oh, okay, well maybe this is A, B, and we're going up for the C there. Okay. Well, I'm trying to be conscious of my bias and say, okay, well, what is that? What are we correcting there? Right? The length of time. It can't be this. Well, fuck again. It's less likely to be this than it is this, which means 1, 2, 3. Now that is just out of curiosity. Right? If that's 1, that's 2. Where'd we go here? All right, 1, 2, 7, 2. Well, that's not crazy. 1, 2, 3. Right? I mean, are we done here now? Is there more to go yet? It looks to me like there's one more leg to go here. Now, shit, this could all fall apart and the whole thing starts coming down here. That's certainly possible. If we're going to do that this doesn't get there. Going to get the right one. And we're heading down there. A, B. Fuck, yeah. I mean, I can see there. I say it's not like that's the craziest thing I've ever seen that might happen. I just don't see the count. It doesn't fit as far as I'm concerned. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that part fits. But how are you getting this? How are you getting your B wave here? And right. So I mean, you can't ignore this shit, right? So here's AB with a clear impulse coming down. How How are we calling that just an A? Can't do it, right? So it's either well, fuck. Are you? So it's definitely a W, right? So it's an ABC, right? We don't. That's really hard to make an argument that that's something other than an ABC. Well, given the depth of that, yeah, you're going to have to dig it out so that's not ideal, right? Because it certainly looks more like an impulse wave, but so you'd have to go into the ABC, so you get a skinny C wave, clear 5 coming down. Right, this was difficult with all of crypto, right? It was always a little bit of a push to get the ABC up, clear 5 down. There's definitely a leading diagonal into that A wave. Sure, this is a little funky there. I don't see it, guys. I think that's ABC here. So I'm trying to look at it through a bear's eyes. Why all the well, so I guess that's just my bias here. So I see absolutely no reason to not take that trade, right? Just zero reason to not be a buyer here. Now that doesn't mean you're guaranteed to make money. It just means there's a very valid trade setting up there. 1, 2, completed impulse, right? So sure, right? So could I be wrong? Of course. If this starts to do this, 1, 2, we get this 4, 5. Well, obviously this count is not accurate, right? Gets invalidated on the way, but I don't see a reason not to take that. I mean, I need to see that case. So somebody's going to have to really. I would need to see the conversation and the explanation as to why that's a done deal at an ABC. I just don't see it. All right, so for what it's worth, I'll be a buyer here. I sure as hell will have a stop on it though. All right, guys. Well, that's. Why not take it here? Low stop, tight risk, good upside. Shit, I'll be taking it. All right, guys, back to you.